Hey everybody, Alex here, out of the Park 21 Pittsburgh Pirates franchise, episode number 29, and we are back after a little bit of time off getting my headset replaced, so hopefully the audio sounds a lot better than it did the last episode, and fingers crossed we'll keep that going forward. But we are back here right before the trade deadline, actually right after the All-Star break, and I wanted to get this video out now, and I've already made one trade this year, and that may be my only trade I make before the upcoming deadline here in about 10 days, so let me show you guys what move I made. The Pittsburgh Pirates have acquired pitcher Adrian Hauser from the Toronto Blue Jays. 30 years old. He's in arbitration, so there's team control for at least another year with him. He was with Toronto earlier this year, had made 13 starts and 17 appearances, so some bullpen and starting split, but a 3.65 ERA plus of 135. Really good numbers overall, really low walk rate with a decent K. It's not spectacular, but it's good enough. A power pitcher, extreme ground ball, kind of my overall cup of tea when it comes to identifying a pitcher who was cheap. That changeup is probably fading fast, so how much longer will he be a starter for? Probably not much longer, but for us, if he's nothing more than just a 1-year rental, I know there's team control, maybe he comes back, we'll see, but that was the direction I wanted to go. And in his debut, which I did a little bit ago before the All-Star break, he was fantastic, and he pitched a gem, and our offense is struggling right now. I'll show you guys that in a second, and he pitched really well as he shut out the Indians, going 7 1/3, allowing just 4 hits, 1 walk, and 8 Ks in his Pirates debut. So really excited to get Adrian Hauser. We needed some pitching. We've had some injuries, some poor performances, and really just kind of required us to go outside the organization after trying some internal options that have just not worked so far. And we did not have to give up much to get Hauser. We gave up second baseman / shortstop / third baseman Francisco Acuna, who looks like it may be a decent guy with some decent eye discipline, avoid Ks, but the ceiling is relatively capped. Also gave up reliever Jose Buto, and he was actually involved in a trade from a while ago with Gregory Polanco. He was part of that package deal. We just salary dumped Polanco, gave a bunch of prospects to the Mets in order to make this trade able to be completed. We had to get something back, so we just asked for just a random reliever, and that was Buto. And Polanco, by the way, is hitting 165 with the Detroit Tigers, so Coffey's pretty weak right now, but Buto is out of the organization. He's with Toronto now, and we also gave up reliever, I don't even know how to say his last name or first name, but I can say his last name. T. Thomas, so I'll call it. He was a power throwing reliever who had no control, never developed. There's some intrigue there with that fastball, curveball, that changeup were to ever develop. It probably won't, but he had done okay. He actually had a pretty good year last year in AAA, but that walk rate, I mean, it wasn't terrible, 5.2, but 7.8 this year, and I'm never going to have a pitcher with 35 movement and 25 control pitch in the majors. It just was not going to happen. So there were some tools there. He was on our 40-man too, so that cleared up some salary in our spot as well for Hauser. So that was a deal. Gave up very little for a guy that he was on the block. It's just not somebody I even sought out, but he was on the trading block, made him fairly easy to acquire. And the Blue Jays, where are they even at this year? They are a top team, so maybe it wasn't the most realistic thing to actually do that in hindsight. I didn't even realize they were in first place at the time, but he was on the block, and so that was the move that we made. And we need some help right now because we are fading fast. We are 50 and 46, and the offense has just stunk the last week and a half, 2 weeks. I mean, 1 run, 3 runs, did have a 10-run outing versus the Giants, but just overall, just getting no offense this year. A lot of bats are cold right now, and so having some difficulty there. Some injuries as well we're dealing with on the Major League rosters. Severino we covered last time. That's one reason why I wanted to bring in Adrian Hauser. Nick Birdie is going to be back in a little bit in the next video, but Steven Brault has a bicep strain, actually just suffered a setback because of it, so I don't know when he's going to return. Just had some injuries in the bullpen, so we've had to try to call up some guys. Right now we got James Marville up in long relief, who had struggled as a starter earlier this year for us, and got Jeremy Walker. His FIP's better than ERA. His FIP's around 3.2, so I think he's getting a little unlucky, but just not quite as strong in the pen, and the starters have not been perfect either. We've tried some different options. Cody Bolton is doing better. Gage Hins is hanging on. Musgrove is up and down, but we've tried some young guys. I showed you, I think, JJ Goss before. He was up with us. Batted pretty well, hit 308. But 6.53 ERA. We then tried for 2 games Junior Micey, so we traded for right before I believe the season started, and he in 2 starts had an 8.31 ERA, so not great there. So those young guys still need a little bit more time, it looks like. So that was the compelling reason to bring in Hauser, and now the bats have to wake up. So this is the first day after the 2023 All-Star break. And by the way, I should mention who our All-Stars were. That's important because we actually have two of them. I think for the first time in this series, we had two All-Stars this year. That included Mitch Keller, who pitched in the All-Star game, which the AL won 11-8. He threw 1/3 of an inning, faced one batter, but that was fine. I did not want him to pitch too much, and so he will not be available today, for, unfortunately, coming out of the All-Star break because he participated in that game. And Jackson Kowar, who recovered from that injury, now moved to the bullpen. He had a torn labrum last year, now a reliever for us, but is pitching really well out of the bullpen. And he had his first career All-Star appearance and went to full inning and allowed just one hit, no runs, and a strikeout. So good stuff there. All right, the Pirates needing some wins here to start the second half of the season. We're 5-9 in the month of July. You see our stats. You can pause it. Pitching's been doing really well defensively. We're strong offensively. We're middling at best, which is where we've been for much of this series, unfortunately. So let's go out to Cincinnati as we will start the second half of the season against the Reds, and let's go to opening lineups here in just one moment. All right, taking a look at the starting lineups for your Pirates, it'll be Brian Reynolds leading off, followed by Trace Barrera, Brian Hayes, Cole Tucker, Ernie Ordonez, who's got power, but his average has suffered down to 219 this year after hitting 275 as a rookie. Kevin Newman also struggling down to 261 average. That's unusual for him. Seen some aggression. Brennan Davis in right and Lolo Sanchez in center. And the guy we mentioned earlier, trading for Adrian Hauser, he will be on the hill for us. And he'll take on the Reds to face a pretty good lineup. Joey Votto's still going strong. Castellanos is on the trade block, but he's doing really well this year for the Reds. And we will face pitcher Tyler Mahil, Male? I think it's Male. I'll maybe double check that before we begin the video. But I think I figured it out here. But he has not had a good start to this year. 6.18 ERA, 20 games started, ERA plus just 73, negative WAR, and he's had a couple of maybe better outings lately. But hopefully we can get to him today. All right, ready for first pitch at Great American Ballpark facing Tyler Mahle. I looked it up. I believe that's how you say it. That's what YouTube tells me. Anyway, and they haven't steered me wrong before. So let's get back to some baseball here in Out of the Park 21. It has been a while, not only since I did a video, but did a video with gameplay. So this is kind of getting familiar again with my whole team, as Brian Reynolds will start things off on a high note with a single into right field. So Pirates bats have to wake up. Everyone's been cold. It feels like not just one guy, it's been the entire team. And so we're going to need to change that today as Barrera's down the third base line. That is potential extra bases for Barrera. The catcher, Reynolds, will stand up at third. He will round the corner, but he will hold at third. And Barrera has a double. So good start for an offense that certainly needs it. And playing the Reds might help, as Hayes looks like that's going to be an infield hit. Not a hit, but just a ground out that brings in Brian Reynolds, I should say. So the Pirates needing some runs here, get one early here in the first inning. And Cole Tucker, who has kind of picked things up, one of the hotter bats in the lineup right now, and he will draw the walk. The defense is a little suspect. I've been thinking about starting Stephen Ailmus at short with Hauser in the game, as that one is going to drop, and so that will plate Barrera. Tucker will hold at second, and so Ordonez, one of those bats that has been cold, able to get the Pirates their second run of the inning. And Kevin Newman, hopefully to join in on the party. Mahle has struggled this year, and so far the struggles continue. As Newman down the third base line, and he will beat that out. Third baseman stepped on the bag to retire Tucker. And so runners on first and second, 2 outs. I'm a little rusty myself trying to call this one. Haven't seen baseball in a while. It's Brennan Davis in right, and a nice catch by the center fielder Isaacs. And that will ensure the Pirates can't plate anymore, but they get 2. And they will lead 2-0 for Adrian Hauser. Some other roster moves, we released or we DFA'd Kyle Seager, as Brian Hayes had come back, so really no need for Seager. And the Mets, I believe, claimed him, so Kyle Seager is now a member of the New York Mets. I have not checked how he's been doing in the week or two that he's been on their roster, as Hauser gets 2 outs there with the ground out to short and the strikeout. And Castellanos on the block. Could he be dealt here at the deadline? That's possible. That salary is hefty. But Hauser will work the 1-2-3 inning, and we'll head top 2 with center fielder Lolo Sanchez leading off and Hauser on deck. So glad you guys are back here, as Sanchez into the gap. That's going to be at least 2 for Lolo Sanchez, who got off to a tough start. Another bat that is heating up, and Sanchez wide turn. Looked like he wanted to try to test the triple, and the arm of Castellanos, which is not great, and Senzel at second, but he will hold at second. And so Hauser, we're going to have to probably bunt him over. Hauser, I believe, does have a hit this year. I think in his debut, he did record a hit. That bunt looks to be successful, and it is. And so that will move on over Sanchez to third. And Brian Reynolds, who led the game off with a single on a 2-2 count. And he pokes that to center. That's fairly shallow. Sanchez has good speed. Do we send the runner? Sanchez will go, and they will not even throw home. And so the Pirates go up 3-2. Top 2 outs. Base is empty for Barrera, the catcher. Having a pretty strong year. And he will go 2 for 2 today. Is that one a little bloop single in the left? Barrera with a single. Now Key Brian Hayes, 0 for 1, but did have that RBI that drove in Reynolds to start today. As that one floated in the left fielder under it, and the Pirates will get another run across to go up 3-0. Joey Votto. Votto is 39 years old, still hitting 264, 367 on base percentage. You got to give it up for Joey Votto. Still going strong, as he will get the first hit of the day for the Reds. A single that lands at Sanchez's feet. Jonathan India, who definitely had a tough year last year, some injuries, hit just a .93. He's doing much better this year, 250. But that's double play potential, and no, can only retire Votto at second. So India with good speed. Stevenson, the catcher, will step into the batter's box. The Reds struggling this year, and there goes India. The throw is strong, though, and Barrera throws him out. Barrera's having a great season behind the plate. And now the Reds, who got their first hit, have the bases empty as that one hit into left. Reynolds charging over quickly and makes the catch. As Hauser so far has worked 2 largely clean innings. Was thinking about adding another bat here because our offense has struggled so much, potentially at right field, where fortunately we traded O'Neal Cruz and he is tearing it up with the Nationals, and that was probably a mistake in hindsight for me to make that deal for Enrique Bradfield, a center fielder who's in Double-A right now, currently injured with a relatively minor ailment of sorts. But just could not find a right fielder who fit. Castellanos is there, but that contract is big, and I don't like doing the inter-division type deals. There is Nomar Mazzaro in Texas, who's doing really well, but the Rangers are battling for a wild card spot, so I don't know if it would make sense to make that trade, especially after just traded for Hauser, who probably shouldn't have been dealt in the realism sense of things. So back to the game action here, as Jackson leads things off for the Reds, so the Pirates couldn't do anything in their top half of the third, and Hauser now falling behind Isaacs 3-1, but there's double play potential, and this time Pirates will turn 2. And so Hauser, that extreme ground ball type, working well for him here, as he'll face Melee. 0-1 count. And that one hit well, and it will be the pitcher who has struggled today, Melee. I think I'm saying that wrong again, but he will have a double for the Reds. And so they will go to the top of the order with Senzel hitting 256 and 12 home runs this year. And that one off speed. Tucker, nice play in the hole, the throw to Ordonez. And so the double from the pitcher does not hurt Hauser. And the Pirates still lead 3-0 as we go top 4. Brennan Davis in right. Average is okay, gets on base, plays some decent defense. As that one will sneak on through for a single, but he's very much a slap hitter type. Not a lot of doubles with him. A little bit of power, 6 home runs. I guess that's not terrible, but looking for more of a power bat, especially in that right field spot. But just not finding anyone who fits, unfortunately. We have some prospects in the system that hopefully can come out next year, as there's a double play there, as that was Lolo Sanchez getting thrown out. There's a lot of speed on the base paths, but nice defensive play from the Reds there to turn 2. And Hauser likely to strike out. No, he will not, but he will be retired just the same. As that one hit in the right center, caught by the right fielder Castellanos, and will head bottom 4. Hauser facing 2-3-4, 31 pitches through 3 innings for him. And that one will skip past Newman at second. And the Reds getting something started here in the 4th with a leadoff single from Winker. Now Castellanos, first pitch swinging. And that one hit to third. Hayes on to that Newman, I believe he could not turn to, as that was Castellanos, or Winker, I should say, who broke it up pretty well. So fielder's choice there. Votto 3-0, and he will draw the walks. He was so good at drawing, even at 39 years old. India trying to get the Reds their first run of the game. 0-2 count. And that one hit hard to third. Hayes gloves it, though. And again, the Pirates, a lot of chances to turn two. Votto is injured with a back injury, sliding into the bag there to avoid the double play, but he will stay in the game. So runners on the corners. Now, India tried to run before. I won't worry about him, though. Focused on getting the out here with Stevenson, the catcher. A little bit of power this year, 12 home runs, but the batting average is not spectacular. 1-0 to Stevenson. And that one hit to right. The shift was on. Davis has to go over, but he'll make the catch. I believe the first out he's recorded today. And so the Pirates still lead 3-0. Malley facing Reynolds, top of the order, 2-2 count. And that one hit softly into left. And Reynolds is retired, but 3 runs is better than what we have been doing lately. Hopefully we get some more here. Barrera strikes out, though. And keep Brian Hayes, 278 this year, heading the count 3-1, and he will hold up check swing, and he will draw the walk. And should we run here? Stevenson does have a good arm. I'm gonna let Tucker swing the bat here. I'm not gonna worry about being too aggressive and let Tucker, who's got a good bat, try to do something. That one hit well into center, and that one's gonna get over the head of the center fielder Isaacs. And will Hayes come in to score? I think I'm getting prompted, and Hayes will come in and score. So let Tucker swing the bat, and he will drive in Hayes on the 2-out double. Tucker did not advance to third there, but Pirates get another run. Lead 4-0 for Ordonez, who looks to take Malley into the gap, right center. That's going to play Tucker. Pirates, no big home runs today, but a lot of solid contact, and they are up 5-0. And that's going to be it for Tyler Malley as his struggles continue this season. So Peter Lambert will come in for the Reds, a 26-year-old ground ball pitcher, ERA of 4, 31 appearances this season. He'll face Kevin Newman on a full count, 2 outs. Ordonez at second. That one dribbled to third. Will they make a play? And Newman, for the second time today, I believe, will have an infield single. And so Davis, runners on the corners, 2 outs, trying to break this one open against Lambert. 3-1 count to Davis, and that one's going to drop in. Ordonez will score it 6-0, as Newman will hold at second. Brendan Davis, another RBI this season. That is going to be his 21st of 2023. And Lil Sanchez try to add to it here on a 2-2 count, and that one gets away, and so runners will move up 90 feet to put them on second and third on a full count. Pitcher spot on deck, so they really probably should just pitch around Sanchez and go after Hauser here. We'll see what their approach is. And they will. It looks like they either intentionally threw ball 4 or just missed and hoped Sanchez would swing at garbage. And so Hauser sitting here at 43 pitches, pitching well, 6-0. I think you got to leave him in the game here. Maybe not the most popular decision. You could really break this one open with a hit, but we're going to let Hauser swing the bat. He did have a hit, I believe, in his Pirates debut, as I mentioned earlier. 2-2, though, and no hit here as he strikes out swinging, leaving the bases full of bucks, but they are ahead 6-0. It's Jeremiah Jackson, the shortstop, in the 7-hole for Cincinnati. Down in the count 1-2, and Jackson strikes on a high pitch, 94 heater from Hauser, facing Isaacs. As Isaacs will pop up to Ordonez, called off Newman there. And Lambert staying in, so they're not going to pinch hit here. They try to rest that bullpen a little bit, although they are coming off the break, so that bullpen should be in good shape. Lambert puts it in play, but Ordonez active inning, and he will step on the bag at first and will head top 6. Pirates leading 6-0. I don't know if I showed standings. I probably should have showed standings. Like I said, I've just not done a video in a while, but the Pirates were now about a game or 2 out of the wild card spot, and I think you probably see in the Central, they were 4 or 5 games out battling with Milwaukee in second place and St. Louis in first, as they typically sit in that pole position. As Barrera to left, and that catch is made by Jesse Winker. So Pirates hopefully going to be in this thing. It always feels like we're wild card Bucks, though, never NL Central, battling Buccos, but just try to stay in the dance as long as you can. And had a good start to the year, just having a rough month right now, and hopefully the offense wakes up as it is today. We'll head bottom 6. Hauser, full count to Senzel, and he will strike him out on the payoff pitch, bringing up Winker, 2-1. And that one hit back up the middle. Tucker will have it, and the throw is in time. They call it the easy out. Looked like a pretty close play to me, but it's an out all the same. Castellanos, their best player, 0 for 2 today. Hauser the pitch. That one inside, jammed him, and Tucker doing well at shortstop today. Like I said, I usually want to play Ailmus in these situations because he's the better defensive guy with an extreme ground ball type pitcher, but Tucker doing well at short today. And speaking of Tucker, he will lead things off. Lambert staying in the game for the Reds. 1-0 count. And that one hit pretty well into the gap, and that one will drop in for a double. So a very good day for Cole Tucker as his hot streak continues, and hopefully the whole bats can wake up from here with the break, some time off, kind of a chance to rest and recharge. And so far, so good. Ordonez 2 for 3, 2 RBIs today. Full count payoff pitch, and he will draw the walk. Doesn't draw a lot of them, but does it there. And that is it for Lambert, as Jose Urena will come in. ERA of 6 in 48 innings this year. Does throw some pretty good heat, but he has struggled clearly. As Kevin Newman, 1-3 today. First pitch swinging, Newman being aggressive here, it appears. And that one roped to third, chance for 2, and Newman cannot get another chance to beat out a ground ball, and so he will hit in the double play. Does move Tucker over to third for Davis, trying to make this one at least 7-0. He's behind in the count though, and that one hit in the corner, deep in the hole to third, but nice play there from whoever that was at third. I'm not quite sure, but regardless, it's 6-0. That was India, Jonathan India, making the strong throw to Votto. And Votto will lead things off here. It's Hauser, 67 pitches. Don't want to tax him too hard necessarily. Bullpen is pretty well rested, despite some of the injuries. Retires Votto pretty quickly, though, and India being aggressive here. First pitch swinging, and that one will drop into left field for a 1-out single for the Reds' third baseman. Thank you guys for sticking with the series. It's just been a very busy time right now, and that one is hit pretty well and over the head of Sanchez. And so that is potential for the first run of the game for the Reds, although India will hold. I pulled a, what's the Reds' former broadcaster's name, Tom Brenneman, in the middle of a thought, and then I'm back in game action. Anyway, 1 out, runners on second and third. Thank you guys for being here with us for the series and still supporting it. I do appreciate it. So Jeremiah Jackson trying to plate the first runs of the game for Cincinnati. 0-2, hit up the middle. That should score at least one. Diving play by Tucker, and he will retire. Jackson, great play by Tucker. Run does come in, but I will definitely trade that run for the out. And now Isaacs will come in. He's got a really bad eye. Not sure. I guess he's good defensively. He's pretty fast, but he struck it 100 times this year. So do I want to pitch around potentially? And if I walk him, I get to a pinch hitter spot. I think we'll just go after him here. See what happens. Full count. And yeah, he better not try to walk with a 25-eye as Hauser. That might be it for him, but nice job there, allowing just 1 run through 7 innings. He is now at 83 pitches. Yeah, that might be about it for him. And I think we're going to have to go ahead and get somebody warmed up here for Hauser. Jeremy Walker will get warmed up. I mean, Hauser could go. I know the pitch count isn't super high, but I think that's just don't want to push it with a 30-year-old pitcher. Had Jimmy Walker last year, and he got injured after a trade. And I just don't want that to happen here, as that will be it for Hauser with a very good outing. Just going to leave it at that and figure out a pinch hitter here. Who do I want to go with here? Let's go ahead and get Ailmus a chance off the bench. And Urena's hold runners rating is strong, so I won't run with Sanchez here. Let's let Ailmus swing the bat. 1-2 count. And he strikes out. Don't like seeing that one from Ailmus. He's trying to kind of get back on the schneid, as he's had some issues at the plate this year. Went down into AAA for a little bit. So Reynolds trying to do something here. As that one again floated into left. Looks like he's hit a lot in the left field today. And that'll be 2 outs for Barrera. Jeremy Walker ready to come in here for the bottom of the 8th. That one hit right to the second baseman, Senzel. And so we'll head bottom 8 with Jeremy Walker. Mentioned him and some of his struggles this year. Some of the, a bit of unluckiness it felt like he was getting. so we'll see in a lower leverage situation what he can do. He'll face pinch hitter Stuart Fairchild, hitting 244, the center fielder, back up to Isaacs. And hopefully Walker can work a relatively uneventful inning. As that one hit the first, Ordonez gloves it, and that is the first out of the bottom of the 8th. Senzel looking for his first hit today, 0 for 3, 2-2 count. And he will not get it, as it looked like off speed there from Walker, potential slider off the plate. Gets Senzel to swing through it. Now facing Winker. And that one hit the first deep in the hole. Ordonez diving play. Nice job there. Good defense all around for the Pittsburgh Pirates today. That's why they're one of the better defensive teams in baseball. And we'll head top 9 with Ke'Bryan Hayes. As there's a train rolling by here. So I apologize if you hear that. But that's just hopefully the horn of victory over here is Ke'Bryan Hayes with a double. As he will end up at second. That's the train horn for a double. That was definitely planned by me. Cole Tucker in the game now. 1-1 count. He's having a really good day at the plate, and he might have made it better as that one into the gap in right center field. Hayes will score it 7-1 Pirates. The train is rolling along figuratively and literally here in Cincinnati for the Buccos today. As Ordonez 2 for 3, 2 RBIs on the afternoon. And that one, good charge in the center. Ordonez a lot of power, but that should stay in the park. Will Tucker tag? He will. And so that will move him over to third. Gonna get James Marvel warmed up here. He's had a tough year, but he is the long reliever with Steven Brault, I should say, out currently with that bicep strain. So hopefully a lower leverage situation for him to try to have a good start to his second half of the season. So we're facing Seth Eldridge, by the way. Probably saw that by now. As Newman 1 for 5 today, so not a great outing for him, trying to figure out how to jumpstart his attack. As Davis, hot shot to left, but Winker has it, so it is 7-1. And we're going to go ahead and get James Marvel in the game to face Castellanos, Votto, and India. The Pirates lead 7-1 here in the bottom of the 9th. And that one hit over the head of Tucker into left field for a no-out single. Castellanos now facing Votto, 0-2 to him. And that one popped up in shallow center. Sanchez has it for the first out. Now facing India, heading the count 2-0. And there's double play potential as that is Tucker to Newman to Ordonez, and the Pirates will defeat the Reds to start the second half of the season 7-1. All right, taking a look at the box score. Pirates, bats wake up. They beat the Reds 7-1. 13 hits, no errors for your Buccos. 1 run, 7 hits, no errors for the 40-57 Reds. Pirates go to 51-46 on the year. Got 2 runs early. That was all the offense they needed, and got some more along the way. For Pittsburgh, 13 hits, as I said earlier. Reynolds 1 for 4. Tucker with the big day, 3 for 4, 2 RBIs. Ordonez with a pair of ribbies as well. Brent Davis 2 for 5. Newman still scuffling along, and Hauser, really good job as the pitcher for the Reds. No one had more than 1 hit. Only struck out 4 times, but only walked once, and that was Votto. So just a lot of production from the bats. Scrolling down here to the pitchers. Hauser, 2 great starts for the Pirates, 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 run that was earned, 1 walk, 3 Ks, and then Walker and Marvel cleaned things up. Malley struggled as his struggles continue. Lambert did not have a great time either, although the bullpen overall, I guess, did a decent job overall. So, for the year, for the standings, let me go ahead and pull those up. We were 4.5 games out of the Central, 2.5 out of the wild card. Got swept by the Padres, I believe, earlier in the month, and so that has set us back a bit, so we'll have to kind of keep fighting as the Rockies are peaking as well, and really no other team has much of a chance, at least as it stands right now, unless someone gets hot. But still a pretty competitive race here for the NL Central spot, of course, and for the wild card spot as well. Let me show you a quick look at the standings. That's where things sit right now. Typical teams basically in typical places. So that will wrap up today's video. Hopefully I'll bring you the next one in quicker fashion. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.